Hate to see a family.
A married couple at odds over the future of their million-dollar business. Spouses Chris and Emily have cornered the market on mobile dog grooming in Long Island, New York. Now, they've got $100,000 in profits to invest in their next step. And they're clashing over what to do with the money. Chris wants to expand their fleet across the country, while Emily wants to double down on Long Island and open a brick-and-mortar spa for pets. Stuck, they're empowering Kevin to decide, do they go big or stay home?
Chris, let's start with you. State your case.
Thank you, Kevin. My wife, Emily, and I, we started a mobile dog grooming business 4 years ago on Long Island, New York, and it has exploded since COVID. We cannot keep up with the demand. We are in a major dispute. I want to take the $100,000 that we have saved up. I want to buy 3 vans and put them in 3 key cities across the U.S. And we basically want to go national with the brand.
Emily, I see her shaking her head. You said, we want to go national. Is that true?
We do not want to go national, Kevin. We do want to expand our business, but I believe that the best way to go is blow it up locally and open up a brick and mortar, high-end luxury pet hotel. We know our clients love us already. I know the demand is there. National is not the way to go.
All right, a classic strategy disagreement on a family business, husband and wife. You know, trying to determine how to render a decision in this, ultimately, I got to understand what reason you would move to a new market when you haven't saturated the existing one yet.
Well, we don't really know if we have or haven't saturated. I know that last year, the business made $800,000 in sales.
Whoa!
Okay, that we know.
800,000?
Yeah.
What did you make on 800,000?
240.
Woof, woof, woof. That's incredible.
We're actually on target to probably do about 1.4 this year, keeping that the numbers stay as steady as they are till the end of the year. Taking this nationwide, you're talking hundreds of millions. I don't even know.
Are you kidding? People would die to have the problems you have. This is ridiculous. Emily, I'm looking at your reviews, and they're stellar. So what happens? You're basically in the driveway grooming the dog. Is that a better experience for the dog than if I take it to Groom-O-Matic somewhere?
Oh, yeah. So the difference between mobile grooming and in a shop grooming is, one, the stress level of the dogs. So we deal with a lot of dogs with high anxiety, a lot of owners with high anxiety. If it's a cat, forget it. That cat is already pissed off the second they get into the shop. And the whole process takes 3 to 4 hours, depending on the size of the dog.
Emily, you sold me. I totally get it. Let's talk about pricing. So you meet the dog, and it's a big 100-pounder. Yeah. Is that a different price than a little rat dog?
A little Yorkie is $140 in the truck, whereas a bigger dog can be $280.
$280?
Yes.
Chris, you want to buy 3 more trucks. How many do you have now?
We're on the 9th van.
How many employees do you have?
15. We own Long Island.
Well, when you say that, does anybody have more than 9 trucks?
No.
Not even close.
So again, I want to spend this $100,000 on a nationwide rollout because I believe that we can take it further and really get this brand to be national.
What does Emily want?
So my vision is a high-end pet resort and spa. We would have cameras set up that you can view your dog at any minute in playtime from across the world. And we can offer dog training, which is extremely lucrative of a business. Trainers on average make about $250 an hour. The demand is here, so why expand it nationally when there's so much money to still be had here?
She's got a really good point here. I mean, Chris, have you thought of that, about all these people that are going to be going back to work post-COVID, to have to go into offices, to have to go to work and are not going to be home with their puppy anymore, and that already trust you guys?
Yes, I definitely thought of it. Brick and mortar, to me, you're married to it, you're sentenced to it. There's no flexibility. There's nothing like mobile.
You know, at least a brick and mortar, you could stay at home. You get a good manager that you can trust to run the place for you, and then it's not a prison anymore.
Obviously, I want to know how you got into this business. Who's the dog person?
I am definitely the dog person of the two. I started as a trainer and worked my way up into grooming and a management position in a big box corporate pet place. I was doing very well there, but corporate wanted to try to cap my pay. So we looked into a truck, and that's how we started our business.
Chris, what else have you done in terms of your business acumen? Are you a real estate guy? Or?
Yeah, I did real estate. I've had restaurants since I was 18. I bought and sold multiple restaurants. I kind of feel like I know what clients want when it comes to business.
So, Chris, do you do any kind of market research, or how do you decide what your customers want and what the proper price point is?
In this industry, it's probably the only business on the planet that no one tells you their prices. It's not on their websites. No one will disclose the pricing. So I kind of just said, like, let's take the plunge. Let's get a van. I know what clients want. If you offer a good service, they're going to come.
How much is each one of these vans? They can't be cheap.
They're over $100,000.
So what do you do? Lease them?
Yes, you put down a certain amount and then you lease them.
And what about modifying with all the doggy doo-doo stuff?
It comes exactly modified. There's only one company in the United States of America. They're based out of Indiana. This is all they've been doing for 50 years. You can get a new truck in 3 weeks.
Wow. Who knew? It's the things you learn on Money Corp. Let me ask you guys a question. People have had, during the pandemic, a crazy affiliation with their pets. Are you worried when we get back to normalcy that's going to go away and it's going to soften your business?
I keep saying that, and every day I wake up and there's 30 new clients that want our service. And for every 2 you lose, there's 15 more coming in. I mean, it works. It is not going anywhere. We need to make this a national company.
I mean, I just feel like the reason why we work so well is because of volume. You know, if you just plop one truck down in Miami, it doesn't pay for the receptionist to be there. It doesn't pay for the mechanic guy unless you have a fleet of trucks like we do here on Long Island. And I feel like that is why we're so successful.
So you think the barrier to entry is you'd need to put $1 million into Miami to get a fleet of trucks going, get 10 trucks, and then you'd have to wait for profitability. So there is a barrier to entry.
Right.
Look, I'm an investor. I listen to both sides of the story. I want to hear your answer regarding Emily's point about scale. If Emily's right, you need 10 trucks, 9 trucks, 8 trucks to start. What do you say? How are you going to finance that in a national rollout?
Well, you don't need 10 trucks to start. It's like anything else. You can find 2 groomers in Miami. You put those 2 groomers in 2 trucks. You purchase the trucks. Once those trucks start making money, in order to purchase the next truck, it becomes very easy because it's a service business. It's all basically profit minus your couple of expenses that you have.
Chris, are you managing the whole operation, or do you have anybody who's helping you management-wise with all of this?
I am managing the entire operation.
And you're on one of the trucks, Emily, all day?
I deal with all the training. I sub in when someone is sick.
How do you manage that work-life balance that's elusive to everyone who's doing this?
You see the white hair? We just make it happen. Honestly, sometimes I wonder myself.
It does take away from our family time, from vacations and everything like that.
What would happen to your family, Chris, if all of a sudden you've got the same challenges that you have in your local market times 5? How are you going to manage that?
Like anything else in business, the more you expand, the more you're going to have to hire people to do those specific jobs.
The more trucks, and it's not in our hometown, that sounds like way more work.
Emily, have you actually scoped out the amount it's going to cost to be able to acquire the brick and mortar building? Are you able to get this
we would
done?
definitely have to look around for the place that we would rent.
So do you actually have a business plan for the doggy daycare or spa, whatever you're going to call it?
Oh, I absolutely know it's going to work out. I already have it completely envisioned in my mind what we would offer.
No, but let's say you were going to an investor. You're going to need some kind of business plan. Have you done that?
Up here, success depends on the choices you make. But I know I've got this. And when it comes to controlling his type 2 diabetes, my dad's got this too.
With the right choices, you have it in you to control your A1C, and once-weekly Trulicity may help. Most people taking Trulicity reached an A1C under 7%, and it starts lowering blood sugar from the first dose by helping your body release the insulin it's already making. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it, you or your family have medullary thyroid cancer, or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Show your world what's truly inside. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Enterprise Artificial Intelligence has the power to transform the most complex organizations and the world, delivering medical supplies where they're needed, keeping our armed forces at the ready, cleaner, safer energy, all thanks to 1 billion predictions per day. C3 AI is AI at a global scale, harnessing the power of data to build a better future. C3 AI. This is Enterprise AI.
With Adyen's unified payments platform, your business can say yes to more, like accepting new ways to pay, delighting your customers, and growing your business. Adyen. Business, not boundaries.
And Protect Check. Zero in on opportunities. Red hot startups from the East Coast and the West Coast. The go-to destination for investors. Check. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. CNBC.
So do you actually have a business plan for the doggy daycare or spa, whatever you're going to call it?
I already have it completely envisioned in my mind what we would offer.
No, but let's say you were going to an investor. You're going to need some kind of business plan. Have you done that?
No.
Okay, because, I'd like to see month 1, month 2, month 3, what your assumptions are about occupancy, how fast does it scale? I mean, you should force yourself to put a spreadsheet together so people can understand what the risks are in terms of how that builds out.
Yeah, but something that I have that no one else has is I have this guy. He can make anything happen. I just need to get him on my side, and then we're golden.
Well, that's why you're here in the money court. I think we've heard enough. Before I render a verdict, we're sending you to the breakout room. When we come back, I'll give you my decision. Bada, Katie, let's deliberate this one. Okay, this is an example of geometric growth, which has its own risks because it ties up a lot of capital when you try and expand too quickly, and that's what she's worried about, and I get it. On the other hand, they haven't saturated their own market yet. And so the decision is, how much risk do you want to take? What's the path of least resistance to higher return on capital? The database of customers they've got with these 5-star reviews is actually a very valuable asset. You could sell that to somebody if you wanted to.
Absolutely. And Emily realizes that. Emily really realizes how valuable that is and how she can tap into that client base for all these other services. Why not take this following in the area and provide a service which is about to blow up as well?
No, he knows that blowing up locally is the way to go. You don't want to leave money behind and go somewhere else.
Double dipping, correct. But backyard and Miami and Arizona, he sees scale. He doesn't see a brick and mortar prison. He sees scale. He sees the brand all over the United States of America, not just on Long Island.
He's proven that they can use this mobile grooming model to wild level of success. So why not replicate that in another place?
Like I said to them, everybody who's been home with their dog all day, and these dogs are used to being around people, her doggy hotel's gonna do great.
Okay, I think I've made up my mind on this one. Let's bring them back. All right, Chris and Emily. Now, the discipline I bring to this is focusing on you and trying to determine what to do with the 100,000 that's burning a hole in your pocket. So here's my decision. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing, except now you, Chris, you're getting a little drunk with success. You want to go national? What are you, nuts? The path of least resistance is right at your feet. My verdict is this. 3 more trucks in Long Island, El Pronto, right now. Then I love the idea of adding the service where I can park my dog. but I want to see a business plan. So I'm going to make you write one out so that the two of you can look at it and test your assumptions about what I call sustainability. In other words, how do you rent a place, you have to pay a bunch of dollars to make it that level of quality, because that's your brand. Congratulations, you crazy chickens. You have such a wonderful business.
Thank you,
Kevin.
I'm glad that he sided with me, and I think now that Chris heard it from a billionaire's point of view, maybe he'll kind of understand my half a little bit more now.
I kind of know what we have and how good it is, but hearing it from somebody like Kevin and seeing the enthusiasm from a guy like that definitely speaks volume, and it really gave me chills just listening to him talk about how greatly he views our business.
Wow.
Wow.